Hey everybody, it's Maddie here with Altcoin Buzz with you on this Saturday, and what a start to our weekend. We're giving you today the 7 rough and ready reasons why Bitcoin has pumped from a whole bunch of different perspectives. A lot of this has to do with Xi Jinping and what China is ready to do and what it has been signaling. There's also a short squeeze issue that we'll be discussing here on newsbtc.com. Then there's really the factor of backed volume. Institutional confidence is on the rise, and so many of the institutions that got into backed early are now in profit, so that'll likely precipitate more institutional investment, more confidence from the part of the large organizations. It's going to be a cascading effect. The US debt crisis also factors in as point number 4. Point number 5 is the Bitfinex and Tether correlation. At number 6, we have the fact that Crypto Capital CEO has been arrested, and this means that exchanges such as Bitfinex may get some of the seized $850 million back. We've talked about that, of course, in the past. And finally, at number 7, of course, the very real-world economic reality is that there are fewer and fewer Bitcoins available today, and that's going to be increasingly the case for the next 100 or so years. We have fewer, I should say, than 3 million Bitcoin to be mined. And this, in conjunction with the halving that is coming up, really is getting people talking, at least in certain circles. So we'll be discussing some of those reasons. Starting today, however, with a look at the market, we are on the heels of the third largest 24-hour spike in Bitcoin history. Check this out, $242 billion since yesterday's recording. That's up nearly $40 billion. As you can see, the price of Bitcoin here up 19.7%. That's because it's come down a little bit. It actually surged as high as, I've seen some figures closer to 40%, but the price right now, $9,184 with 68.2% dominance. Now, the first reason for Bitcoin's pump, this is really more a bit of a background context, if you will, but we've been talking so much about China lately, especially in the context of the congressional testimonies that Mark Zuckerberg has been issuing in relation to Libra. But Xi Jinping says China is ready to embrace blockchain on virtually all levels. A study of blockchain technology conducted recently by China's Political Bureau of the Central Committee of the Communist Party, the CPC, had extremely positive results. The General Secretary of the CPC Central Committee and China's President, Xi Jinping, gave a speech at a gathering this week of members of the Central Political Bureau, where he discussed the findings and what's in store for the country going forward. Xi is now calling for an acceleration of adoption and expects a huge wave of activity taking place over the next couple of years. There's no doubt that that's playing a huge factor geopolitically, and really the more the US downplays the importance of cryptocurrency and blockchain, the more it faces regulations from the CFTC, from the SEC, the more China is going to embrace it. So you have this dichotomy where one country can hate it, the other can love it, and those positions can also switch with time. But either way, Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies will grow so long as there's that international geopolitical tension. For more insight, for more opinions and analysis on the China situation, go back to check out yesterday's video. However, this is our reason number 1. China's interest in Bitcoin is part of the reason, or reason number 1, why we've seen this very sudden price spike. Here at number 2, we're on newsbtc.com. Short squeezes have come into play. Bitcoin price smashes above $8,000 in massive short squeeze, now above $9,000. So just to set the stage, we were as low as $7,300, but of course, after some consolidation, the trend broke back upward in dramatic fashion. The resulting break out of a short-term pennant has led to a short squeeze of epic proportions and nearly $1,000 green candle that sent bears into hibernation, and Bitcoin price over $8,400, more like over $9,200 or even $300. I think at the peak it was above $9,400 even. So for the rest of the technical price analysis, check out this article, newsbtc.com. But they're purporting that a massive short squeeze also played a part. And look, part of that is just market momentum, right? The charts are going to go one way for a while, and when sentiment is at its lowest, that's when things tend to reverse. Remember what I said, I believe it was in yesterday's video, if not the day before, be greedy when others are fearful and be fearful when others are greedy. Not financial advice, of course. Reason number 3 as to why Bitcoin pumped as much as it did. Backed volume and institutional confidence is on the rise. So here are a couple of tweets at BackedBot. Today's volume so far, 1,131 Bitcoin. Last traded price, $8,622.50. Trading day progress, 54%. And if this continues, 100% equals to 2,095 Bitcoin. That from the 25th of October. Altcoin Buzz IO commenting on this, only 3 million supply left, referring to the number of Bitcoins out there left to be mined. Halving is approaching in May of 2020. Chinese president showed support for blockchain adoption yesterday and backed was a failed story until 2 days ago and can now show a profit to all its institutional investors. Volumes are increasing rapidly. And that's a terrific point because we've highlighted the numbers recently, but really more important than the numbers is the fact that now, all of the sudden, since its launch, Bitcoin has kind of been going back's launch, that is. Bitcoin price has been sideways for the most part. Now with this very sudden, nearly 40% spike in the course of a day, well, guess what? All those institutional investors are realizing that, yeah, the volatility is stressful, but holy cow, can we ever make profit when things go our way? And I guarantee you these last couple of days, those institutional customers of Bakkt have been in the green. They've seen some very, very, very profitable numbers. Now, with those profits comes increasing enthusiasm as well. So those institutions are very likely to further contribute to ever greater volume numbers. And who knows, with the success stories that they're now able to demonstrate, you may have more institutions, more organizations that will filter into the space. Here also at Bakkt on Twitter. Today we set a new daily record, 1,179 Bakkt Bitcoin futures contracts traded. That is from the evening of October the 25th. Not too bad. All of a sudden, validation is in the air. And we are now on CoinGate.com. Bitcoin price makes history with 35% rise in a day. Here's how it happened. And our fourth reason is also covered here on CoinGate.com. They attribute it to the U.S. debt crisis. The U.S. Treasury Department announced on Friday that the budget deficit has increased to about $1 trillion for the fiscal year. It has seen a 26% rise this year, with Trump's administration failing terribly on its promises to wipe out the deficit. And furthermore, quantitative easing measures adopted by the Feds further threatens increased spending. This vicious cycle of unsustainable growth projects uncertainty for the long-term future. What can you say? These are the deficiencies of the fiat system that now defines the world in which we live. I see no good reason why we cannot improve upon this very flawed model. Reason number 5 for us why Bitcoin surged overnight, also provided here on CoinGate.com, the Bitfinex and Tether correlation. So the CEO of Crypto Capital, a firm entrusted by cryptocurrency exchanges for custody and international purposes, was arrested on Friday by Polish authorities. The charges pressed against him included money laundering and involvement in the global drug cartel. Reportedly, earlier, Bitfinex lost access to $850 million worth of crypto assets to Crypto Capital. And as reported earlier, Bitfinex and Tether have denied involvement in all criminal activities of their ex-fund manager. And so this reason number 5 also ties in heavily to reason number 6, which is the fact that that Crypto Capital CEO was arrested, and therefore exchanges such as Bitfinex may get some of the seized $850 million back. This on Bitcoin Manager, btcmanager.com. President of payment processing firm linked to Bitfinex Tether fiasco arrested by Polish authorities. We just covered really the gist of it right there, but if you want to check out the details of this story, we'll link to it in the description below. The silver lining in this case, although it looks bad at surface value for the crypto space, is that those $850 million of seized assets may be freed up. So maybe there was some investment made on the basis of enthusiasm that really some of this corruption has been stomped out. I'm just speculating, but that's a possibility. It certainly affected the space one way or another. And reason number 7, we've covered this before in several videos now, but it's simple. Very little supply is left in terms of Bitcoin, and the halvening is quickly approaching. There are now only 2,985,000 Bitcoins that are left to be mined. We have mined 85.7% of the total supply, which means there are just over 18 million Bitcoin in total circulation. For now, we're still mining about 1,800 a day, but that figure soon is going to be about 900 as of May 2020. Again, that is the halvening, which is upcoming next year, really a few short months away, depending on how you think about it. And more, if this correlates with an increase in price, it's going to get into the collective psyche. People are going to appreciate Bitcoin as what it truly really is a scarce resource, and the scarcity factor is really only going to increase with time. Now, whether that is a real definition of value or whether it's just perceived value in the eyes of consumers, that's for the philosophers to discuss and argue. But one way or another, it is going to be harder and harder and harder to come into possession of a Bitcoin. And generally, in terms of market supply and demand economics, that equates to a higher price. So check out this on buybitcoinworldwide.com. We've featured the website before. It's got some great statistics and some great countdown tables. But that is our reason number 7, the fact that scarcity all of a sudden is a factor that is entering into play. Well, that about rounds it out, everybody. Hope you've been able to benefit and perhaps make some coin based on this most recent pump. Again, the third largest 24-hour pump in Bitcoin's history. So I wish that hopefully some of you, all members of the Altcoin Buzz Army, have profited, had benefited. If you have a great success story, share it with us in the comments below, but only after you subscribe to our newsletter. I think, however, that about rounds it out for today. Do be sure you're following us on all the regular social media channels and keep checking back into the website, altcoinbuzz.io, for all the latest. Go ahead, like, subscribe, share, hit the bell to receive notifications if you've enjoyed this video. Best of luck, of course, if you choose to invest. Do not chase all-time highs. It's not financial advice, but that's what I'm going to do personally, just my opinion. Best of luck, however, if you do choose to invest. Have a great Saturday, a great weekend, and we hope to see you again soon in our next video. Take care.